Alright everyone, this is Ash. Welcome back to the King's Speech. So just finished recording the Spy Family video. Channel update is out on the channel now. Short and sweet, so if you want to go give that a look, It'll kind of give you an idea of what's coming to the channel. But quick TLDR, nothing significant has changed. Plan is still to get Yoda and Lazarus out until one series is done, and then I'll dive into a new one after that. And of course, then we're going to do the Shonen Jump reaction stuff as per normal. Like I mentioned in the channel updates, since next weekend is a long weekend for us Canadians up here, I will hopefully get around to starting my reactions to the Akane Banashi the Rakugo story starting in Shonen Jump, so look forward to that. Yes, without further ado, let us dive straight into it with Kaiju No. 8, Chapter 65 by Naoya Matsumoto, with translation by David Evelyn and lettering by Brandon Bovia. Where is those credits? Oh, it's kind of weird because they're not on the first couple of pages like they usually are. Weird. Alright, whatever. What you see, a little flashback on the front cover to baby Kafka and baby Ashiro, with both of them just like little squirt guns on their back, standing there being like Captain Kafka and Vice Captain Mina. So we pick up with the news of Rino Ichikawa officially undergoing training as the first ever compatible user of number 6, quickly spread among the younger members of the Defense Force. And you see Kafka and Kikoru just reacting to the news with shock as Kafka goes, But he can't do that! It's like Ichikawa's gonna wear a numbers weapon to fight number 9? So that's far too dangerous! And you see a kabonk as Kikoru just chops him on the head. He's like, you still don't get it, do you? It's like I told you before. Quit insulting us. Rino is a soldier too. Now is not the time for worrying. We should focus on our next course of action. And you see Ashley turns away, she's kind of just smiling, going, if Rino's going to get stronger, I'll just have to continue to surpass him. And you see Kafka kind of just looking silently contemplative. And you see later that night with a tump tump tump, you see him just running laps around the track. And he thinks back to Kikoru telling him, Rino's a soldier too. He's like, it's true. Ichikawa is awesome. He's gaining more and more recognition through his own efforts. And then he comes to a stop and he goes, can I say the same? Have I seized anything by my own efforts? Have I protected anyone using my own power? I'm not the one who's needed around here. It's Kaiju No. 8. And then you hear well, you're not looking too chipper. And Kafka's just shocked by this voice he hears. As Vice Captain Hoshina goes, you sure you're going to be able to steal my spot by Captain Ashiro's side moping like that? Kafka Hibino? And he's like, Vice Captain, and as he's about to cry, you see Hoshina just drawing his blade and pulling one to Kafka's neck as he steps in. And you see Kafka just falling on his ass with a thwump as he goes, feels much better. Payback achieved. And Kafka's like, huh? I'm talking about your punishment for hiding your identity from me. That jump scare was me getting even. And you see him going boing boing as he's playing with the knife, which he's got just a rubber knife on and wasn't an actual one. And you see Kafka just going, Vice Captain, I've wanted to apologize for... And you see him just coming up, Hoshina coming up behind him, getting him in a headlock and goes, didn't I just tell you were friggin' even? I hate all this dreary crap. So I've got one more thing to tell you. You've got my thanks for saving the 3rd Division. And that's not meant for Kaiju No. 8. It's meant for the person who transformed despite the risks. You, Kafka Hibino. That gave me the rundown on your body. If you continue transforming, you might not be able to return to human form, right? Then I'll defeat number 9. You don't need to transform anymore. You can just take things at your own pace and walk your path as Kafka Hibino. That's what I came to tell you. And you see Drip as tears are just streaming down his face. He goes, that's right, I almost forgot. He acts strict, but he's always been the kindest person around. He goes, thank you very much, sir, but I just can't do that. The truth is that I want to be recognized through my own efforts too. It's like by Ichikawa and Mina, and you, Vice Captain. He's like, but it's not enough. And he thinks back, Kikoru was crying at Isao's little funeral. It's like, it's so frustrating. My strength alone isn't enough to protect anyone. I don't want to see tears in my teammates' eyes anymore. That's why... Shit, I love this. I'll turn into number 8 and fight. And again, just wicked paneling. You see half of his face is normal, and you see that the other half is shattered in such a way that it looks like it's taking on the features of his kaiju form. Love it, love it, love it. So sick. See Hoshinakan is also reacting in surprise as he's seeing Kafka's determination. He's like, well, should have figured as much. He's the same dope that transformed a situation like that, after all. No matter what kind of ruin lies ahead, when the time comes, he won't hesitate to transform to save others. And then Hoshina goes, in that case, there's only one way forward for you. So if it's going to be inevitable, then I may as well enhance him. Nice. And you follow me, I'll teach you how to fight. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Oh, God, I'm so excited. Alright. So, I guess, quick thoughts on the chapter. I'll go from start to finish, like I normally do from other stuff. So, again, I'll say I appreciate how all of this chapter is, people kind of calling out Kafka's, selfishness doesn't feel like the right word, but I appreciate the fact that everyone's calling out, Kafka's desire to kind of like shoulder all the burdens of, the defense force, of being responsible for what happened with number 9, like shouldering all those burdens by himself, telling him to consider the fact that, everyone else joined, the defense force through their own volition, because of their own convictions. And Kafka's kind of, being a little bit of a dick by kind of ignoring or downplaying those, just because he's like, oh, I don't want to see people hurt, kind of centering his own emotions and saying, I don't want to see my friends get hurt. I don't want to see my teammates getting hurt, without considering, what their thoughts and feelings are, kind of like factoring that into his decisions and thought-making process as well. So Lucky Core is kind of coming straight out and telling him that, we're all soldiers, we all are part of this, we're all a team. You can't just decide, by yourself what you're going to do, and you can't try to shoulder all these burdens by yourself. So yeah. Very shonen jumpy, but again, the stuff like this, when it's done well, I think is really impactful, and Kaiju number 8 does it really, really well. So I love those little moments at the start. And I also love, again, that, Kafka's going through, this turmoil, this inner turmoil. He has, like, all these self-doubts about, is it really my power, if I'm borrowing Kaiju number 8's, form and skill and everything, to be able to be of any use. Like, it's like, he's basically saying, like, it's not really me that's part of the defense force, this power that I gained involuntarily, that it's actually useful in helping to save the day. And I love that, Hoshina kind of comes in to snap him out of it by pointing out that, pointing out the obvious to him, which is that, at any point Kafka could have given up and decided, to keep Kaiju under wraps and be like, what, I'm not going to transform, no matter what, I'm not going to fight, I'm just going to sit this all out, I'm going to let everyone else handle it. But the fact that, he's going through with it, even despite the risk to himself, despite the fact he might not be able to transform back, he's willing to make the sacrifice and to keep fighting, for the betterment of everyone. So I like that we're getting, Kafka getting that affirmation, the validation of people telling him that, stop thinking about it this way, thinking about, all the downsides, think about, all the positives associated with it. So I appreciate that. I appreciate them telling him that, giving him the option of, hey, you don't have to risk your body like this. Like, no one expects you to do something. Like, we all know it's kind of unreasonable for us to continue expecting you kind of put your life on the line like this. And of course, Kafka being Kafka is like, no, I'd hate myself even more if I sat there when I had the power to do something and I didn't. And which leads to, again, like, I just love when you do authors play with the effects like that, when they do like the half shadowed effect or like the superimposition of like the monstrous face onto things. I love that effect. Put to very, very good use here. And the fact that Kafka's going to get trained by Hoshina, who is going to get, was it number 10, I think, or was it whichever, the big horn kaiju, whichever one it was, I can't remember the number off the top of my head. But the fact that we know he's going to turn him into a weapon, I feel like that's going to become part of what he's going to use against Kafka, could try to kind of like, boost his skill level up and kind of boost his skill level up. But also I think it's going to be a semi-reiteration of what happened when he fought against Isao. I think the bloodlust, just because the bloodlust, especially from the horn kaiju, I think is going to be similar to that of, was number 2, was Isao's little fist weapons. I think it's going to be on the same level, because given how much the horn kaiju likes fighting, I feel like he's going to project a lot of bloodlust towards Kafka, and I feel like that's going to, again, potentially partially trigger the same response, like the same angry response, like the unintentional transformation in him again. So I feel like most of this training is going to be Kafka learning how to kind of control and harness that power for himself, and how to like better cooperate, I guess, with his kaiju powers, and like learn to harness it and use it. So yeah, really exciting development. Cannot wait to see where it's going. Kaiju number 8 again continues to stay on top. Still one of my favorite series. Cannot wait for the next one. Looking forward to it. It looks like the next chapter is going to be in 2 weeks. So I'm hoping we're going to see some big developments with this setup now. But we'll see what happens. So like I mentioned at the start of the video, channel update should be out by now. Like I said, plans haven't changed too much. Yona and Lazarus videos are going to be the priority until one of those is done. And then after that, it will switch to a new series. Like I said, look forward to some other Shonen Jump reactions coming next week. And with that said, I'm going to wrap up this video here. As always, thank you all for joining me. And as always, if you like my content, please do like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'd really love to cross the 150 subscriber hurdle soon. And until next time, this is Ash. I will talk to you all later.